What up, what up, what up?
Oh, we all the way live?
We alive, baby.
Yes, sir. I had to put my evening parlay in real quick for my video game players. You know me. You know what I mean? I hit him for 600 earlier today, boy.
Yeah? On what game?
So I bet on these guys that be playing Counter Strike. It's like Call of Duty, and I bet on them in a $30 bet, 6-leg parlay. Hit that thing, won $600. You know what I mean? That'd be the fun money. You know what I mean? Kids want to go
on the video gamers, bro. That's new even for me, man. Holy smoke!
Hey, man, it's
like bet what time the FedEx driver gonna arrive at the door on the Ring camera. You know,
if they put that on Prize Picks, I bet on that too. Hey, nah, but I was talking to a dude this weekend. Before we jump into today's topics, is just what we want to talk about, man. But I talked to a dude this weekend, and he was like, "Man, it's funny because I don't really like." And what's up, Davenport family? What's cracking, baby? He was like, "I don't really like." Oh, that's over there on YouTube. What's up, my YouTube people? YouTube, Facebook, everybody that's live today. I know we kind of just popped up like a premature baby, right? We didn't tell y'all ahead of time that we'd go. You know what I mean? But we here. Hey, we dropped like a Beyonce album just out of nowhere, boy. You know what I mean? Just
like a hustler single.
You feel me? You know? But this guy this past weekend, he was like, "Man, I ain't really no gambler. I don't really, like to take risks like that." And I was like, that's interesting because I see that same nature in the way you attack sales. Like, you prefer guarantees over going out there and risking it for the biscuit, right? So I thought that's pretty interesting. And, something I've noticed about a lot of sales reps is like, sales reps like to gamble, bro. Like, they do like to gamble, go to the casino and gamble, bet, all these things like that. But they also love that adrenaline rush of betting on themselves every single day as well. Yeah. Just being in a full commission job. So that's just something I thought about recently. I'm like, man, a lot of sales reps are gamblers. And I wonder, is it because they gamble their life on a day-to-day basis? You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing's guaranteed in their life and they wake up and gamble every day. But yeah, I like me some good sports betting. I only bet on shooters and football players. I don't do no baseball. I don't do nothing else because I'm a calculated gambler, which means I only bet on things that I'm aware of. I don't just like throw shit against the wall. Right. But that's just me.
Well, but here's the thing, right? And you think there's a lesson to be learned here. So if you are in a commission-driven business and you're motivated by money, one of the things you have to understand is you have control to take care of having so much money that you can afford to do the activity. So if your activity is gambling, right, you don't bet more than you can afford to lose and still be in a good mood. You know what I mean? You just kind of eliminated that money problem by, hey, I go out and hustle because I like to have fun. I like to go casino or whatever it is. So you don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah, but that I agree. But if you do got gambling problems on the side,
yeah, we should post that little number.
Cut that shit out. You know what I mean? I gotta see what's happening. Who that is? Near me roofing. My boy Chad. No, that ain't Chad. Is that Chad?
That's Chad.
Chad near me, right? Yeah, they're my people. But first and foremost, shout out to everybody that's tuning in, everybody that's here. We appreciate the people that stick around and rock out with us when you do these lives. What was the purpose of these lives? The purpose. What's up, gang? Roof Nuts in the building. Jay Bradley, what's cracking, big dog?
Yo, what up, Jay?
Shout out to you. Keep doing your thing. But the reason why we do these lives, right? 2 reasons. I like to give the people more of me, more of us, me and Bruce. Like, unless you're part of Best Hustler Academy, you don't really get to tap into Bruce mindset unless you purchasing from him or doing something like that. Yeah, and I got no problem gambling. Amen. Right. I've been telling Bruce he got to be like John Legend. I was listening to this song called Green Light by John Legend and Andre 3000. And this is part of the song when they say, hey, every now and then you got to come from behind that piano and let them know that you get down. It's like even Stevie Wonder got down sometimes, right? So I told Bruce, man, we got to get in front of the people more. So that's why we do these lives mainly, so y'all can tap into our mindset, understand how we think, how we get down. Second of all, it is the promo, the Road to the Best Hustler Academy live experience, which is going to be November 13th and 14th. in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going down, 2-day event. We got a VIP dinner that Wednesday. I got no problem gambling after other people's money. You ain't never lied about that either. But the Best Hustler Academy, Best Hustler Live Experience is going to be November 13th and 14th. We hope to see the vast majority of y'all there. It's only room for 120 seats.
There was, right?
Oh,
now,
yeah.
That's a lot less room because that momentum is on fire. And I can't believe it, right? Can you believe tickets are selling the way they are 5 months, 4 months in advance? It's a blessing.
Honestly, I thought we was going to sell out a little bit sooner, but then I got to remind myself these roofers, they get storms consistently, business booming or business slowing down. So they either pull back the money or, they're chasing these storms. So we want to let y'all know, if you plan on coming to the event, get your tickets sooner than later. It's not a sales tactic. We just want to let y'all know we're not pulling any strings to get extra people in the room.
Yeah, it is. That's what it is. Is at the Hilton Embassy Suites by the Atlanta airport, and the room had a capacity for 150. We got 30 staffers between our team, the videographers, the sponsors, and we carved out 120 to sell. Yeah, it's funny. Our team actually set up the automations today for the 2026 wait list because we know based on demand already that we're gonna have to turn people away, unfortunately, this year. So it's gonna be
exactly. So I'm excited about that. So before we jump into today's topic, man, I always like to tap in with you. Tell me something great. Tell me something good going on, man. And Kian, what's up, baby? Urban Grind in the building. Come on, Bruce. Tell me something new. Tell me something amazing. Anything you want to share with the people?
What's up, Kian?
Man. Did you just start?
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff happening, man. From small wins, we got the new merch, the Best Hustler Academy swags coming out. All that merch is dripping in for the event, so that's pretty exciting. You and I are going to be in Virginia next week, right? Top of the week with Atlas. Shout out to Atlas, Van Dusky, and the crew.
Yeah.
Can't really talk too much about that, but we got a lot of good things working on the horizon for sure.
Hey, man. This past weekend, I did an event with Business 411 down in Miami. Shout out to Liz. Shout out to the whole Biz 411 gang. My kids got to come and watch me do an event. Watch me speak. It's the first time my kids got to watch me do a training.
Yeah.
They've watched me train a high school football team where I taught them some mindset strategies. But this is the first time they watched me do a live training. And it's probably one of the best trainings I did, not because I waxed deep on the content, but because my babies got to watch me do what I leave every weekend to go do. Yeah. And it was fun because my daughter, after I was done, she was like, Dad, you did such a good job. You did such a good job. She was like, I'm a bulldog golden retriever. And I was just like, man, that's so dope that she saw me breaking down the personality types and she was identifying with them. And it was heartwarming, bro, to have my kids watch me do my thing. You know what I'm saying? I got a little bit emotional up there, briefly, because I don't think a lot of people, their kids get to see them in action, doing their thing, what they love doing, not making money, but doing what you love to do, which is perform, help other people go to that next level, chasing excellence every single day. And I push that in my kids. And for them to see me get up there and do my thing, man, it was very heartwarming. So shout out to Liz and the Biz 411 team. Another thing, 2 more wins, and then we'll get going. Just did a training up in Connecticut, A1 home improvement. Shout out to A1 up in Connecticut. Trained a team. There's a few issues, right? Because everywhere I go, not everywhere I go, some companies I go, we deal with ego, right? And the ego don't want to be offended. The ego don't want to be embarrassed. The ego don't want to be irritated or agitated, right? So the ego naturally going to defend itself. So we dealt with a little bit of ego over the weekend. Some guys didn't want to tap into the training. But we had let's just say about 60% of the guys, 70% of the guys show up, right?
Okay.
And that 60 or 70% that showed up had a big energy and mindset shift. Because, everybody think I'm the do-to-do guy. And I want to say this, why everybody watching and why it's on live. We built our brand from do-to-do because that's what we did. That's what we were good at. But we're not just a guy that we're not just a company or a group, me and Bruce, not coaches that just teach your guys door-to-door sales. We teach your guys how to be top performers. We teach your guys how to tap into
the psychology of a champion.
Yeah, the psychology of a champion, the inside, to do the inner work, to become the best version of you. I did a training this weekend. After I was done, one of the guys came up to me to a one-on-one. He said, man, thank you so much. Until you came here this weekend, I never even thought about elevating my life. He's like, man, you made such a big impact on me. ironically, I deleted all of the gambling apps on my phone because I want to lock in and get focused. Like that's what our trainings do. We make people delete their gambling apps. I did a training in California maybe 3-4 weeks ago. Dude, maybe 300 plus pounds. Ain't read a book since he was like 19 years old. I did my training, hit him on Thursday in the face after I was done. That next day, got up 6 a.m, read a book for 30 minutes, did a little workout, got his kids up 45 minutes earlier than he normally would, had them ready for school, fixed them breakfast. His wife get home and she like, the kids ready out? Like what the hell wrong with you? And he like, this dude came into our company today and he sparked something inside of me. Like, you're gonna see a better version of me from this day moving forward. His wife was like, you need to go live with that guy. Like, I need more. I need more of this from you.
But I love it, right? And you're humble. I know I shared a text you shared with me, so I shared it on social media too, recently about a successful win that immediately took place after your training. And then even now, as we were firing this up 10 minutes before, you just got a text like 15 minutes ago saying you had a record-setting month up in Kentucky, right?
Shout out to Dustin with Fofo Roofing. He just texted me saying, bro, I just want to let you know I hit my best month, 200K. 200K is best month. I know some of y'all like, you probably already did 200K, 300K. It don't matter. But it's the fact that we're not only helping guys hit better numbers, we helping them tap into the better version of themselves and better people, right? Better. Because as you become a better man, your sales get better, your relationships get better. You become a better husband. You become a better dad. Like, that's what this shit is all about. Winning holistically, not just having the best numbers at your roofing company, but you go home and you and your wife on the verge of divorce, or you was a top salesman this month, but when the last time you and your son or your daughter just went and spent some quality time together, or you're just not a reliable person. Nobody likes being around you because you're so arrogant and so cocky.
It's like the
performing at work, but no friends.
Yeah, it's like the Instagram life, right? You know, you go good at sales. It's like that's what you want everybody to see. But then to your point, you go home and everything's kind of falling down around you. You just putting out that little picture that makes you feel good when you really. Jay Bradley, he maybe still on here. He says trick the idiot, but that's kind of what people are doing. They're trying to trick themselves into things that are really better than they are. And so I know that you go real deep with them. A lot of our coachings, man, are on the mindset more than this is what you say at the door, right? You already wrote the script that works, and we taught them in a video how to do it. So that part is what it is. Now, how you can get out the car or get up and get in the car to go to the neighborhood.
Yeah, how do you get anchored, right? How do you learn how to be present? I'm reading this book called Inner Excellence, and it's this recent thing that I've learned where it say, share your heart, not your ego. And what it means by share your heart, not your ego is top performers, the things they love about the game more than winning is being able to compete against other high competitors because they bring a side out of them that won't come out if they didn't have the competition. So it's like when you're a top performer, you actually love your competition. You're actually grateful for your competition. Like you hope there's competition. Why? Because your competition bring a side out of you that without them, you wouldn't be able to tap into. You know, it's like those Thursday night football games when two quarterbacks throw for 500 yards. It ain't because that guy was necessarily a 500-yard quarterback. It's just the way the other quarterback was competing. It made him tap into that next level, right? So we do so much deep work than just knocking a door. That's just how we get business.
But what you say is so true. Like, you know, shout out to my boy Dan. I don't know if Dan's on or not. Dan Inevitable down in like Polk County, Florida, in between Orlando and Tampa. Known this guy since the beginning of my marketing career back to 05, 06. Best sales guy I've ever met in selling marketing, man. And I think I'm pretty good, right? So we're different places in our career now. I invite him over to web.com where I'm at, and I'm kicking back, man, making like 180, feeling pretty good, like, oh, I'm the man, you know what I mean? And then he came over, best friend competitive, and I was like, oh, no, like I can't let Dan be better than me. So it was the first year I hit 200, was getting him over because of that friendly rivalry competition, right? And I think one of the things we talk about is setting people up to create those environments to have healthy competition is also going to drive your organization forward. It really does work because when you're really good at sales, nobody cares about the money. You already have money. It's about what next? How can I win? How can I compete? Right?
Agree. And like you said, when you're a real competitor, you want your competition to do their best.
Yeah.
You don't want your competition to have a broke leg. You don't want that, right? which should take priority, recruiting additional sales representatives for door knocking or investing their time into making efforts to reduce our reliance on the sales team to bring more leads. Is that a question? Oh, which should take priority?
Yeah.
Recruiting additional sales representatives for door knocking or investing their time in the marketing efforts to reduce our reliance on the sales team to bring more leads. My personal opinion, you go first.
I got one too. You go first. You want to go?
You go first. I go second.
So that's a great question. First of all, Keon, I would say, recruiting additional sales representatives should always be foot on the gas. You always have to recruit a pipeline to the point where you have a waiting list so you can actually hold people accountable that don't hit your number instead of leading from, hey, I'm afraid if they don't hit my number, I got to let them go, and then I'm not going to be able to make my nut because I don't have enough salespeople. When you create that waiting list because you're always recruiting, then you can lead more effectively because you can lead with accountability. But investing in marketing efforts to reduce our reliance on the sales team to bring in more leads. All I would say is that, and this is for me owning a marketing company, if you are going to have a sales team and invest in marketing, which the companies that scale the fastest, I truly believe do both, the inbound leads have to be an incentive. You have to get something out of your sales reps to hand them out because you don't want to create lead babies. So it could be different contests of the day in your group text where it's, person that sets the most inspections today gets the next inbound lead, or person with the most sales last week gets the first new lead this week. But I would always encourage you to, use the marketing leads that you're paying for as an incentive to promote the healthy activities and behaviors that are going to drive success. So I'll stop there, Deshaun. That's my soapbox.
No, that's my first time ever hear you say that. And excuse my language, but I fucking love it. Like, I love that. I've never heard you give that perspective when it comes to marketing. And that's why I know we got such a great synergy, because I believe in that too as well. I'm like, if you go market, right, make your sales team at least go generate 2 self-gens before you get them a lead. That's how we used to have to do it my first year. You used to have to generate two self-gens on your own, then you got a company lead. So I think you always should be recruiting. Why? Because outside of having really good salespeople, like developing, Jesse, what's up, baby? What up, player? But outside of having like good salespeople and you building your team, you building your culture, right? The beauty of constantly recruiting and bringing on new salespeople, you get new networks that you can tap into. So long as everybody not family, right? If you're only bringing on family, bro, you more mouths, more money, right? So if we got more mouths in the house, more people in the building, we can close more deals, we can make more money. But not only that, now we could do more recruiting events. So instead of having to use Indeed, now I got 8 sales guys. I say, hey, you guys making money, y'all having a good time. Do y'all know at least 5 to 7 people that would be interested in a new opportunity that can change their life the same way it changed yours? Yeah. Now you go get these 5 to 10 names. You got 8 people times 5. That's 40 possible new recruits now. Yeah. Now you go create a Facebook event where you're like, hey, we're going to be doing an event at Topgolf, or we're going to be doing it at Dave & Buster's, wherever you want to do it. You go create the event on Facebook. You go add all of these guys on Facebook to this event group. Some of them going to opt in. Some going to opt out. Out of those 40, you get 20 people to show up. Out of those 20, you hire another 7 to 8 people. Now you just got 7 to 8 new networks. And you're getting them trained up, getting them coaching, helping them winning. And you just keep doing this. Like if you look at recruiting like a multi-level marketing business, well, every time we bring a new guy on, let's find out who he knows that might be interested in changing their life and going to a new level. So that's why you got to do both. Got to recruit, and then you got to market. And if you need a marketing company, that's Roof of Marketers. And we don't help you recruit, but if you got them and you need them trained.
100% advisors, we got the partnership, baby. Hey, but seriously, right? So if you do these events, whether it's with your team static, meaning your core team, or whether it's a recruiting event like Deshaun was just suggesting at Topgolf, the number one thing about marketing is, man, it's not just ads and phone calls, right? Those are the metrics that matter. But like some of the things you could do cleverly is if you're doing a picnic or a Topgolf or a bowling event, like have one of your office managers, one of the girls on the team, one of the guys on the team record it. Take little snippets and put together a mashup of your company culture video. That's one of the things we sell through Best Roofer Media in our media division is we sell company culture videos because successful people, again, it does not always come back to the money. If you are hiring the right type of people, they have already found success in some sort of sales. Therefore, they have some money by default. So you can't just like win them over compensation. So when I started making money, I was like, oh, what's next? My time, right? Or where am I going to work? What am I going to do that I can enjoy? If I have to be away from my wife and kids, I want to enjoy every minute of it. And I had the leverage now. because I had the success in sales. So now companies wanted me. I didn't just go want to work for them. And you got to flip the script. And one of the ways you can do that is just document all of your fun successes, man. Stay in it with your team, but get somebody to document that. That's some of the best marketing you could do right there.
Let me ask you a question, because this is one of the some of the stuff we've been discussing just been, the flow, right? But I got this question because I've been thinking about it. For somebody asked me this a few weeks ago. Matter of fact, why was that an event? Yeah. When I was at the 411 event, the guy asked me this question. I thought it was a really good question, and nobody asked me this question. He said, how do you know when a sales rep is ready to go to that next level, or like what makes a sales rep ready to go to that next level? Like, how can you tell, and what makes them ready to go to that next level? And I was like, damn, that's a really good question, because I don't deem making money means you're at that next level. You're just making money. You're just closing deals. You might have got lucky. The process helping you out, whatever. So I know the answer. At least I got
I got an answer.
I just want to hear your perspective coming from your background and where you come from. What do you deem? How can you tell when a sales rep ready to go to that next level? And then I put my 2 cents on it.
So I'm going to answer this from the perspective of the next level within the organization. They want to level up. Sales manager, they want to get to a position of power. They want to have more responsibility. And I think one of the things that I've lived this as both a sales rep busting at the seams to get into management, and then as a sales leader as well. When the individual can consistently hit their quota in a non-pressure environment, and they are still asking for additional responsibility outside of sales, meaning I'm consistently exceeding my number that you have for me every month. I'm not stressed out, and I'm asking you what's next. Give me more. That is a telltale sign for me that somebody is truly ready. Now, a lot of people say they're ready, but those are key indicators for me that they are actually ready. So for example, so I would crush my numbers so early in the month that I could stop working, but I chose not to because I just wanted to lay on the incentives and the accelerators. So I would keep working in a non-stressed out way, which then helped because I had already crushed my number. My closing ratio would go up because I didn't have that stench of desperation, right? The stench of desperation. So I would do all of that kind of in my sleep and then still ask my boss for additional responsibility. Hey, can I run the team meeting? Hey, I learned something at the sales call I want to share with the team. Hey, can I pull some reports for you? Or he would ask me, hey, what's your capacity? You want to do some extra stuff? And I was already well past where I needed to be from a metric standpoint. So that's a big indicator for me, is that they're doing the job effortlessly instead of more. That means that they have more passion, desire, strength within them that they want to implore, if you're lucky, in your company.
So you said consistently hitting their quota or passing it.
Yep. Hitting or exceeding their quota in a non-stressful manner and asking for additional responsibility.
And asking for additional responsibility outside of what you already been asking them to do. I like that. So my answer is very similar. And I want to be very clear. I didn't know Bruce's answer. That's my first time asking Bruce that question. So I don't know what Bruce was going to say. I just want to clear that up. Like, we don't prep questions.
Not for these. The only thing you prep is the Heine's cold.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I might give you an idea what we're going to talk about.
If we're giving up our time at 8 o'clock at night, it's because we love it and we want to serve. It's not because we have to be here.
Yeah, it ain't no clear agenda of like, this is what we, don't get me wrong. Some nights I get in study mode and I come ready to teach. And then some days, we just chopping it up, even though we teaching in the form.
Look, Cam's question was great. So
no, that's a really good question.
Drop your next question in here, guys. Keep them
and
coming.
If anybody else got questions that's live or watching us, Bruce, can you scoot to the right? Oh, never mind. If anybody else,
that's the internal tap, bro.
Yeah, if anybody,
Jared, you're killing me, dog. With the centering, come on.
Feel free to ask us a question. But how do I feel like a rep is ready to go to that next level? I've been thinking about that when he asked me that question. He's like, how can you tell? I was like, I think reps are ready to go to that next level when he makes a decision to take full responsibility for his success. Like, he already winning. He might already be making money. He already may be closing some deals, right? He's experiencing some level of success. And then he has this like aha moment of like, it's not the company's responsibility to get me to this next level or help me make this amount of money or help me get to these certain places. Like it's all on me. And then they make a decision to start investing, start reading books, start practicing on their own, start hosting a team meeting. Like you said, asking for more responsibility, calling meetings on their own, having guys meet up and, teaching them and taking guys into the field. Like just really taking full responsibility for their own success instead of blaming it on the company.
Right.
And when he asked me that question, I really was pondering on it. And I'm like, man, how did I know when I was ready to go to that next level? I'm like, it's when I sat down and I was like, it ain't nobody else's responsibility for me to be winning at a high level. It ain't nobody else's responsibility to make sure my family can eat. It ain't nobody else's responsibility to make sure that I can do the things that I want to do. I need to take full responsibility for that. And once I made that decision and I took all of the blame and responsibility off of my company, shit went to a whole new level. Like, that's how I got to where I'm at today, because I just made that decision. So I just want to let owners or even sales reps know, ask yourself this question. Have you taken 100% responsibility for your success?
Right.
Or is it still the company fault you ain't get enough leads? Is it still the company fault they ain't buy you this? Is it still the company fault you don't got no truck? Is it still the company fault you ain't got no gas card? It's like, are you still putting the blame on somebody else so you don't got to take full responsibility? And if you aren't, if you are blaming somebody else, that's a problem.
Yeah, man. I mean, I want to unpack that for a second, because you hit some things there that resonated with me. I had this conversation earlier. So I was talking to an opportunity out in California that came in about marketing, and he understood the game very well. And what he was saying is, effectively, if the agency does the right thing, we should be getting so much traffic from all these other sources that at some point I can turn my ads down and kind of flip the script on my budget. I can spend less and make more. And the same kind of thing holds true from a sales rep going to the next level. You talk about in the beginning, right? It's the baby, and the baby's in the crib. The baby got to be fed all the time. The baby needs to be changed. The baby has to be taught. Then the baby grows up and becomes an adult. And with that responsibility becomes, hey, the company is supposed to help me be successful, to all of a sudden, I'm going to single-handedly help the company be successful, right? It's like that mindset switch with somebody that's finding success as a sales rep. They're more focused on how can I, if I'm a sales rep on Keon's team, how can I help Keon grow his company single-handedly myself, because I'm ready for that. But I dialed it into, if it is be up to me. So I dialed it into a phrase I put together, intellectual curiosity, meaning that when your job is no longer challenging and you are that valuable to an organization, you can almost demand upward mobility. And I did that in a $2 billion company, right? I was having so much success. I was the top guy month in and month out for 5 years in a row, consistently, not every month, but the majority, in a big organization. I had so much of that intellectual curiosity, and in corporate America, sometimes you get held back for whatever reason, right? So I was in a position where I was kind of capped. And I knew I was qualified for the next level. I was doing all the right things. I was essentially running my own branch, and I couldn't get there. And I had the leverage. So I pretty much said, hey, you're going to have to promote me, or I'm going to pack up my ball and take my talents to Miami. You know what I mean? I'm going to go here, right? Yeah, a little LeBron. But I'm going to go elsewhere because I'm the guy. And I'm not asking for a lot. I'm just asking for you to create an opportunity, create a pathway for me to continue to grow, because selling is not difficult for me anymore, and making money is kind of getting boring.
That's funny, because I agree. Once it gets to the point where making money get boring, you need something more to continue to keep you invested into this thing. Another thing I've been noticing as I've been flying around the country is after the companies, right? After the sales managers, after the leaders, the growing usually stops. Yeah. Like if the company ain't teaching them, the growing stops. So people aren't reading on their own. Like this past weekend, dog, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, how many people in here read a book this year? Matter of fact, my past 2 trainers. How many people read a book this year? Out of 15, 16, 17 sales reps, 3 people raised their hand. Right?
Look at that. Every day you gotta have something to read. That's Miracle Morning. But every day you gotta have something to read.
Always, right? You gotta be tuning up that brain. So I've been paying attention. I'm like, man, after the owners, after the sales manager, the learning pretty much stops. It is a good group of guys out there that you know, they learn how to make more money. What do I mean by that? Like you got Master Your Craft by John Cenac and Chris Zimmerman. Phenomenal information, right? And you know, they learning those skill sets in order to be able to make more money. Because if you can get your claims pushed through faster, you can get paid faster. And don't get me wrong, John and Chris are like phenomenal. Like they teach some amazing information. But I always wonder, I'm like, okay, but if that didn't apply to you making money, like how much time do you invest into those things on your own, right? Learning these things on your own. So the question I was wondering, because you come from corporate America, and I want to give it from a perspective of the blue collar perspective, how do you incentivize reps to personally develop? Do you think that's something they got to have a want to, or you think it diminishes once they feel like they got to?
That's a good question. Here's, you know, I reflect on a story. I mentioned Rob almost every live, but the best sales leader I had kind of showed me when he first met me. He's like, "Why do you want to be here?" I said, "Make a lot of money." He said, "No, you don't." Like, you got to give me a why much better than that. And he kept unpacking that why. And I think good coaches learn how to get their team to visualize the true why that's going to motivate them. Because if you can't unpack somebody's why in a results-oriented business like door-to-door sales, they're never going to maximize their fullest potential, which means you're not maximizing their fullest potential in your organization. So that's not a direct answer to the question, but I think that it's important to understand that. You have to really unpack their why. You have to help them unpack their why. Does that make sense? You're really good at asking questions. You'd be really good at that.
I like that. So I've been thinking about it. I've been like, man, how do you get guys to grow? Like, you got to create an environment conducive to growth.
Yeah.
And I think your values and your principles have to set the environment up to grow, right? So, like, I view like your environment is the soil, right? Like your company is the soil. You got new sales guys, you plant them in that soil, right? Mm-hmm. But your principles got to like water the soil, right? You can incentivize personal development. They have to want it for themselves. I agree, right? I think it's a slippery thing, Justin. Like, I don't think you can't incentivize it, but I think it's doable as well. So I think the way you can incentivize it is if it's a part of your culture, right? So it's like, here we personally develop. That is something that we value. Yeah. So I think you could do it like in a book club perspective where, like, hey, we got to read this book this month.
Doesn't Nick do that? I wish he was here. He does something with books and reading in his culture.
He do something similar. And I know they do Bible study, right? Another way we used to get incentivized for personal development, our boss used to make us choose a topic, and we used to have to teach on it for 15 minutes at the sales meeting. Topic of our choice. So he used to force us to get out there and start learning and educating ourselves, right? But one of the biggest things he always did was he would give us a book. We would have to read that book that month. He would buy everybody that book. And every sales meeting, you had to come read at least 2-3 chapters by the time you came back to that next sales meeting. So they was creating that environment that was conducive to growth.
I like that. Learn something, teach something. I like that. I'm sorry to make it up. That is strong in a meeting, because the more you can delegate the responsibility of your meeting and mix it up and give people a platform, they go so much better. It's not just the owner talking at the people all the time.
Well, it do two things, right? First thing it do is it puts you in a energy to go learn, because most people lazy. Like, most people lazy. They don't do no extra work. Like, you know me, Bruce. I study. Like, I think I outstudy most people in our industry. When it comes to just like,
I don't knowing you personally outside of what we share here, just knowing you as a personal brother. Yes.
Like, you know, I'm always studying.
You study more than the average layman as a coach or consultant.
Yeah, like I study my ass off, especially when it comes to like being able to provide this information for people and for myself, for my kids, right? Because I always tell people, if it ain't in you, it can't come from you. So I think it do one or two things. It puts you in a position to actually start learning how to learn when they make you get up there and teach. Second thing does is it helps you get better at your words and communicating and learning how to do public speaking, because most people terrified of public speaking. They great in a one-on-one setting, put them in a group in front of people and they sizzle out and they fall out. So we had a guy that was extremely shy. His name was Haben, Ethiopian dude, super introverted. And by the time he was done working with us after 2 years, bro, he was averaging 5 to 7 deals a week. He was very vocal. He used to lead the trainings. He was kind of like my right-hand man, even though I was like the sales manager right-hand man. He was like my right-hand man. And I watched this dude blossom so much. And the reason why he grew so much is because we created an environment that was conducive to growth. Everybody had to grow in our environment. You weren't allowed to stay the same. You weren't allowed to opt out of things. Like you weren't allowed to not do the work to show up for the sales meeting, because even if you didn't prepare for that speech, you had to get up there and do something. Yeah. Like he didn't let you off the hook. So can you incentivize them? No, I don't think you should get $100 bonus for reading a book. I don't think you should get a gift card for reading a book or going to a conference or doing an event. But I do think your environment should be conducive to growth, which means you should have book clubs. It should be high. Like the incentive should be going to events, going to seminars. Why? Because if you only rely on your voice to motivate and inspire your team, you already at a disadvantage. Yeah. Like you already at a disadvantage. If you only rely on your voice, it's equivalent to which me and Bruce both gonna experience this in due time. You gonna tell your kid some shit, and then Uncle Deshaun gonna pull up and tell him some shit. He gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, Uncle Deshaun told me this," and you gonna be looking at him like, "Bro, I've been saying that shit for years, bro." Right? The growth of others is nurtured by proximity and guided by leadership. Amen. Right? I think team members should get $100 to read a book. Thanks for the idea, Deshaun.
Yes. I think our live director should go to bed.
Jazz from here, right? But that's something I was thinking about.
Here's the thing, though, right? So how does this all tie into? Okay, I'm a business owner, right? In many cases, not all, but in many cases, roofing company owners, whether they're saying it publicly or not to the team, are staying up at night dreaming about selling their business one day. They want a boat and a big truck, and they want to take their wife to the Keys and go fishing. That's what it is. If you are not creating an environment full of leaders where the company can function without you being in it, you're doing yourself a disservice in the long run too, because the company's going to live and die with you, and no private equity VC or bigger company wants to gobble you up if they're solely dependent on you. So one of the things I try to do in leadership is create so many leaders that nobody knows who runs my company. You see Jared out there doing more videos. I give Jared a hard time. Jared's out there doing more videos than I am right now. He's in media days. We did 5 in July. He was all over the country doing media for contractors. He's out there on our social media. I got my VP of operations, Carrie. Shout out to her, man. She's handling everything from the clients down with Liv. Our team's just absolutely crushing it, but that's because we're creating an environment full of leaders so it doesn't have to live and die with Bruce Luffler. Does that make sense? And I think that this is one of the things you could do to create leaders is give them the platform to show some of their self-worth, because everybody feels like they have more self-worth than they talk about. We don't talk about all of our skills all day long, but we know that we can do certain things. And I think this is a great environment to do it. I love that idea, man. I wanted to implement that.
Yeah, I read my first book because my first sales leader gave it to me. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you this book. You need to finish it, and I need it back by the end of the month." And he was like, "I don't want you to give it back to me unfinished." And I think I had such an employee mindset in the beginning that like I was scared to not do it.
Yeah. But look at that. And then you heard Grant Cardone in the $1 Million Speech, just like your spiel I've heard it so many times through all the trainings I've been at with you, about how you changed your life because you said read a lot of books. Like the most simple thing, and you've turned it into a high 6-figure income and a reputable brand and business where you get the privilege to travel the country and serve dozens of people a month, right? If not hundreds.
Living the dream, man. And I said, like, it's a difference between the dream and the goal, right? The goal is an outcome that you can't really control. Like you can put as much effort, energy as you want to into like accomplishing the goal, but you can't control the outcome. But what is the dream? The dream is the passion, the love, the fulfillment, the excitement, like enjoying the adversity, enjoying the mishaps, like learning, growing, appreciating the feedback in the midst of chasing your goals, right?
100%.
And I don't think everybody get to live their dreams, man, unfortunately. And I'm just blessed and grateful that I had a dream, we had a vision, and now we get to live this thing every single weekend. And people ask me all the time, man, do you get burned out? I say it's hard to get burned out when like you on a mission. Like when you live in the mission, When this ain't about making no money, because the money gonna come. Like, I'm so good at what I do, I get paid all the time, man. Like, I don't think so, son. But I get paid all the time because I'm so good at what I do. So like, we don't focus on the money.
Yeah.
We in love with the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in the dream every single week, man. And like you said, it's because Uncle G was like, hey, the average millionaire read 30, 40 books a year. They attend 4 to 6 conferences a year. And every industry got a gap in it. If you can fill the gap, you'll make a lot of money. And after that, it was game time.
You built a whole business around it, a successful business that year after year provides.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because something else I've been thinking about or like studying is like your beliefs. Like, you will only do as much as you believe you can do.
Yeah.
You will only do as much as you believe you can do. So if you don't got a high level of belief in yourself, you won't take a lot of action.
Yeah.
Because your beliefs are the subconscious thoughts internally that about yourself that you believe what you can or what you can't do.
Right.
And most people don't have a lot of belief. And I remember one of my mentors used to tell me, believe in me until you got enough belief to believe in yourself. Believe in me until you got enough belief to believe in yourself. And luckily, I got high beliefs. I'm not an arrogant guy, but I think you know me well enough, Bruce, to know that
you don't lack confidence either.
Yeah, I bet on me every day and 2 times on Sunday, dog. Me versus you, I'm taking me all day. I don't care what I'm doing, what I'm playing. This last name Bryant, and like I tell everybody, you can ask my son, what's your last name, Bryant? You ask him what it means, he tell you greatness, right? Tell people I'm trying to die like this. Kobe Bryant, Deshaun Bryant. Like, that's how I'm trying to die. Like, the way they talk about Kobe, that's how I pray to talk about me. Another thing I told about on the pickleball court, on the doors, whatever. And another thing I told people, Bruce, and they look at me crazy when I say this. I said, I'm trying to have my funeral line around the corner.
Yeah.
Like, I want my funeral to be packed out. Like, people like, why? My mama like, I want a small funeral. I'm like, nope, y'all better book. Like, y'all better rent some shit out. I want my funeral to be huge. And they're like, why you want such a big funeral? I said, because it's a testament how many lives I impacted while I was here.
Yeah. Amen.
You know, that's the ultimate goal.
That's the legacy. That's a good perspective. If you got to be morbid and think about when you're dying, that's a good way to think about it.
Oh, we're going to have a party, baby. You know what I mean? And I'm like, give everybody that want to talk, give them 2 minutes. I don't care how many people it is.
Give me your best door-to-door joke right here.
Hey, we out there. We all the way live. But listen, it's 8:40, man. I do. Obviously, we can always ramble, but
no. We short tonight.
Yeah. So before we get up out of here, 3 things. First thing, ask yourself as a sales rep, owner, leader, whatever, have you taken full responsibility for your success, your growth, and everything that you want to be, right? If you haven't, own that. Once you own that, you'll go to a whole new level. Second thing, always remember this. Sales reps do what you do, not what you say, right? So if you don't read as a leader, if you're not being the example, just know they doing everything you do. They doing half of what you do right and everything you do wrong. So if you're not reading and studying and growing, just know your team not doing it either. So try to create an environment that's conducive to growth, that's help people go to that next level. Because there's a principle I believe in, Bruce. Your life should be better now that I'm connected to it.
Yeah.
Like if I come into your life, it should be
if you
better.
do your job right.
Yeah, it should be better. I shouldn't make it worse. I should have your wife coming to me and saying, thank you so much for, what you've done to my husband or what you've done to my brother, like whatever. Like that's the way you got to show up as a leader. People's lives should be better now that you're attached to it, right? So create an environment that's conducive to growth. Sales reps, however they come to you, they should leave you better.
Right.
That's something I agree in.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third and final thing, I just want to say this with so much love, compassion, and just pride. Buy your goddamn tickets to the best Hustler Live experience. Get your tickets, baby. Get your tickets. Jared, tell them, get your tickets. Get your tickets.
Coming up, bro. Jared stays away, man. He don't even drink, bro. He's not even sipping the syrup.
Yeah, listen, it's gonna sell out. It's gonna sell out. We don't want you to miss it. Don't be DMing me or Bruce like, hey, can you get me in? Can you make it a standing room? No. We don't want the fire marshal to come in and shut us down.
The sponsors get a seat. Look at all them beautiful sponsors right there. Just shout out real fast. Atlas,
Atlas.
Latinos and Roofing, ABC, Roofle, Ugly Roof, John Bros, Cutting Edge Gifts. Well, I got a nice cutting board the other day with the Best Roofer Marketing logo on it. And my name
They sent you
on it.
one?
Nick Brandon lined it up, but yes, yeah, they sent me a
Let's
flyer.
go. They sent me a knife with the roof.
I think Nate want to get some of that barbecue from the crib. Is what it is.
I cut everything with that knife just because it got the logo on there. I'd be like, Kyle, you know what I'm saying? And I want to give a big, even though you already said it, I want to give a double whammy shout out to Atlas. Love y'all to death. Extremely grateful to be working with y'all. Excited to be in Virginia and Dallas and Orlando and Nashville. Any events that's coming up, we're going to keep bringing that heat for these roofers. We're going to keep helping taking all of y'all contractors to that next level. We appreciate all y'all love and support when it comes to the Best Hustle Academy, Best Roofer Marketers, and Roof Hustler itself, man. We love y'all.
Thanks for everybody that tuned in with us tonight, man. Without you, we wouldn't have so much fun and so much conversation. So day in and day out, we get the privilege to talk to you guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And I leave y'all with this one, man. You already shut us up here?
No, go ahead. Hit them with the quote.
I'm gonna leave y'all with this one. Live every day like it's your last, but prepare like you'll live forever. Stay focused, stay hungry, stay dangerous. Keep hustling, baby. We'll see y'all in a month.